Market of Broken Souls, the twin sons of Helio 7, cast long shadows across the sprawling bazaar where Vex Mercer moved between stalls of contraband tech and exotic creatures. His worn leather jacket and quiet demeanor made him blend with the other traders. But something in his eyes, a certain resolve, set him apart. Vex hadn't come for the usual cargo. Reports of synthetic beings sold as property had reached even the outer rim, where he usually operated. He didn't consider himself a hero. It's just a man with lines he wouldn't cross. The merchant called himself Draven, hulking figure with scaled skin and yellowing tusks. Finest merchandise this side of the Nexus, he proclaimed, gesturing to his wares and among them. A woman. She stood perfectly still, silver-blue skin glimmering under the harsh lights. Her eyes remained downcast, a control collar blinking at her throat. Vex paused, studying her. Not human, not entirely synthetic either. Hybrid creation designed for servitude. How much? Vex asked, keeping his voice neutral despite the disgust churning in his stomach. Draven grinned. For the servant? She comes free with purchase of my harvesting drones. Good deal, yes. Works tirelessly, requires minimal maintenance. And if I just want her? The merchant's eyes narrowed. Strange request. 5,000 credits. She's advanced, tech worth double, to the right buyer. Vex transferred the credits without haggling. When the transaction completed, the caller blinked once, then went dark. Does she have a name? He asked. Inventory tag N573? Call her what you like. As they walked away from the stall, Vex noticed she followed precisely 3 steps behind him programmed behavior. Once aboard his small cargo ship, he gestured to a seat. You can sit, he said. When she remained standing, he added, You're not my property. I bought your freedom, not you. For the first time, she looked directly at him. Her eyes were deep, violet, intelligent. Freedom is not a recognized parameter, she said softly. What's your name? Your real one, not what they called you. Hesitated. I was designated N573. Before that, another pause. Nisha, I. Remember being called Nisha? Vex nodded. Nisha, I'm Vex Mercer. This is my ship, the Horizon Runner. You're safe here. Why did you purchase my contract? Her voice held no emotion, but Vex sensed caution beneath the words. Because people aren't merchandise, he replied simply. As night fell over Helio 7, Vex showed Nisha to a small cabin. He explained the ship's systems, offered clean clothes and food. She accepted mechanically, her programming still evident in every careful movement. Only when he turned to leave did something change. Mr. Mercer, she called softly. The Helix Corporation will track this unit, track me. They don't allow their investments to ... escape. Vex paused in the doorway. Let them try. Unnoticed by either of them, the control collar in Vex's pocket emitted a brief, silent signal, a beacon calling to its makers. In a corporate tower, thousands of miles away, a screen flashed with coordinates and a message. Asset N573. Recovery required. The Horizon Runner lifted off at dawn, leaving Helio 7 behind. But freedom, Vex knew, wasn't just about distance. It began in the mind. And watching Nisha stare wonderingly at the stars, he saw the first flickers of something awakening behind her eyes. Awakening trust. 3 days into their journey, Nisha began to change. It started small preferences emerging where there had been only compliance. She chose the spicier food options, adjusted the temperature in her quarters, selected music from Vex's collection. Vex found her in the engine room on the 4th morning, her hands moving with impossible precision among the machinery. The drives hummed at 120% efficiency, better than when the ship was new. You've got a gift, he remarked, leaning against the doorway. Nisha's hands stilled. Not a gift. Programming. I was designed for technical optimization. Is that what you remember now? She stood, wiping her hands on a cloth. Her silver-blue skin caught the light differently now, as though something inside her had brightened. Fragments return. The Helix Labs. White rooms. Other synthetics, like me, you're more than what they built, Vex said. How can you know that? Her violet eyes studied him intently. Vex shrugged. Because you're fixing my ship without being ordered to. Because you chose the Zenithian jazz recordings over all others. Free will shows itself in small choices first. Later, as they shared a meal in the galley, Nisha asked about him. Vex told her about growing up on the struggling colony world of Tarnus, about running cargo to survive, about the personal code that kept him honest in a dishonest galaxy. You live by principles, she observed. Try to, he smiled. Sometimes they're expensive. The ship's alarm shattered the moment. A proximity alert and known vessel approaching at speed. Vex rushed to the bridge, Nisha following closely. Helix enforcement vessel, she said immediately, reading the signature. Designation, Hunter, class. Vex's hands flew over the controls, plotting an escape vector. How did they find us so quickly? Nisha touched her neck where the collar had been. Quantum entanglement tracking. The collar even deactivated. It signals. Then we lose the collar. Vex retrieved it from his quarters and headed for the airlock. The Helix ship was gaining. As Vex ejected the collar into space, their pursuer abruptly changed course, following the decoy. Temporary reprieve. That night, unable to sleep, Vex found Nisha in the observation dome. Starlight played across her features as she traced patterns on the glass. I remember designing propulsion systems, she whispered. Not just repairing, creating. I was an engineer before. Before they took me, Vex sat beside her. What else? Music. I played an instrument with strings. And there were others like me. Not identical, but similar. Enhanced humans, synthetic components integrated with organic tissue. Family? She shook her head. Created, not born. Impulsively, Vex reached out, his fingers brushing hers. She didn't pull away. It's born or made doesn't matter, he said. It's what you choose now. Shooting star streaked past, its reflection captured in Nisha's eyes. She turned her hand, fingers tentatively interlacing with his. I choose to remember, she said. Everything they tried to make me forget. In the comfortable silence that followed, something shifted between them, trust, perhaps, or the beginning of something more. The Horizon Runner slipped deeper into the uncharted reaches of the Veil Nebula, where rogue planets and asteroids provided cover. But both knew the reprieve was temporary. Helix Corporation had resources spanning galaxies, and they never wrote off valuable assets. The next time the alarm sounded, they would be ready. Hunters in the Void, the mining outpost on asteroid RX-419. WASNT, Mucha, collection of pressurized domes connected by transparent tunnels, populated by those seeking fortune or escape. For Vex and Nisha, it offered anonymity and supplies. Nisha wore a hooded cloak to conceal her distinctive skin. Vex noticed how she carried herself differently, now back straight, eyes forward. No longer the submissive posture of property. We need a scrambler for your biosignature, Vex explained, as they navigated the crowded marketplace. Something to mask your unique energy pattern. A grizzled tech dealer named Jorvik examined Nisha through specialized goggles, whistling low. Helix work, isn't it? Top-grade synthetic integration. He glanced at Vex. Expensive toy you've got. Vex's hand drifted to his sidearm. She's not a toy. Jorvik raised his hands placatingly. No offense. But you're playing a dangerous game. Helix doesn't share their creations. I'm not theirs to share, Nisha said quietly. The dealer nodded, impressed by her assertion. Fair enough. I've got what you need, but it won't be cheap. They left with a small device that Nisha integrated into her neural systema. Temporary solution that might buy them time. In their rented quarters that night, Vex cleaned his blaster while Nisha meditated. A practice she'd discovered helped organize her returning memories. They're coming, she said suddenly, eyes snapping open. 3 ships. They've tracked the Horizon Runner's energy signature. Vex cursed. How long? Hours, maybe less. They packed quickly, but never made it to the docks. Helix Enforcers humans in sleek black armor sealed the outpost's exits. Leading them was a man with a face Nisha recognized. Director Thorne, she whispered, fear creeping into her voice for the first time. The enforcers found them trying to escape through maintenance tunnels. The first confrontation was brief, and violent Vex took down two with precise shots, while Nisha surprised everyone, including herself, by neutralizing another with combat moves she didn't know she possessed. More programming? Vex asked as they ran. Apparently, she replied. They reached a service airlock and stole a maintenance craft. Little more than a pressurized box with thrusters. As they fled the asteroid, Helix ships opened fire. The small craft shuddered under impacts. We won't outrun them, Nisha said, hands flying over controls. But I know another way. She guided their vessel toward the asteroid belt, navigating impossible gaps between tumbling rocks. When a particularly large asteroid passed, she cut engines and power, drifting in its shadow. In the darkened cabin, their faces close in the confined space, Vex felt something shift. Nisha's hand found his in the darkness. When he looked at her, starlight from the viewport cast silver patterns across her face. If we don't survive this, she began. Vex leaned forward, pressing his lips gently to hers. The kiss was tentative at first, then deepened as she responded with unexpected passion. When they finally separated, both breathing heavily, he rested his forehead against hers. We're surviving this, he promised. The Helix ships passed, continuing their search pattern. When it seemed safe, Nisha reactivated minimal systems. I remember Director Thorne now, she said softly. He designed the loyalty programming, the obedience parameters. He's the one who took away our identities. Her voice hardened. There were 12 of us in my cohort. Advanced prototypes. I need to know what happened to the others, Vex understood immediately. Then we find out. They set course for the outer colonies, where rumors spoke of a hidden sanctuary for those fleeing corporate control. As they traveled, Nisha's nightmares returned fragments of memories, laboratories, and faces of those like her. But now, when she woke, trembling in the darkness, Vex was there, his arms around her, anchoring her to the present, to freedom. Sanctuary among stars. The sanctuary called itself a haven, a massive space station hidden within the electromagnetic disturbances of the Carina Nebula. Originally a mining facility, it had been repurposed by the Syndicate. A loose collective of corporate deserters, political refugees, and technological idealists. Nisha and Vex were greeted with suspicion until a woman named Celine recognized Nisha's unique physiology. Another Helix survivor, she said. Her own skin bearing the faint blue luminescence characteristic of synthetic integration. There are 8 of us here now. Haven became their temporary home. While the Horizon Runner underwent repairs, Nisha met others like herself, enhanced beings who had escaped corporate ownership. Some remembered more than others. All carried scars, visible and hidden. Vex observed these reunions with mixed emotions. He was happy for Nisha, seeing her find community. But something else nagged at him, the fear of losing her to this newfound kinship. One evening, as artificial night fell across the station, Celine led them to a secure chamber where Haven's leaders gathered. Among them was an elderly man introduced as Professor Elias, once Helix Corporation's chief biotechnician. I defected when I saw what they planned for the synthetics, he explained. You were never meant to be servants, but partners. Evolutionary steps forward. Nisha leaned forward. Then why erase our memories? Why the control programming? Corporate greed, Elias sighed. They saw profit in servitude, not partnership. Your generation, the Lumina series, was too independent, too creative. They couldn't control you without extensive neural reprogramming. The others from my cohort? Elias's expression darkened. 4 are here. 3 were decommissioned. 5 remain unaccounted for. That night in their shared quarters, Nisha was unusually quiet. When Vex approached, she turned to him with determination in her violet eyes. We have to stop them, she said. Not just run. Stop them from doing this to others. Vex nodded. Haven has resources. We can start planning. Their embrace began as comfort but transformed into something more urgent. Clothing fell away as they explored each other with increasing abandon. Nisha's synthetic skin shimmered wherever Vex touched, responding to his caresses with luminescent patterns. Their joining was tender at first, and passionate to beings finding connection across the boundaries of their different origins. Afterward, lying together in the dim light, Vex traced the intricate patterns beneath Nisha's skin. "Beautiful," he murmured. She watched him with wonder. "I never imagined feeling this." "They tried to program emotion out of us. Failed spectacularly." Vex grinned. The following weeks were devoted to planning. Professor Elias provided access codes to Helix databases. The Syndicate contributed tactical expertise. They would infiltrate the central manufacturing facility, release proof of illegal operations, and free any remaining synthetics. Amidst preparations, Vex noticed subtle changes. Celine and some Haven officials held private meetings. Security protocols shifted. Something felt wrong. "We're being watched," he told Nisha privately. She nodded. "I've noticed not everyone here supports our plan." The night before their mission launch, alarms blared throughout Haven. Helix ships appeared at the nebula's edge more than anyone had anticipated. Someone had betrayed them. As they rushed to the Horizon Runner, Celine blocked their path, armed enforcers beside her. "I'm sorry," she said, her expression pained. "Helix offered amnesty for all Haven residents in exchange for you two." "You sold us out," Vex growled, drawing his blaster. "I saved everyone else," she countered. "One sacrifice for many." Nisha stepped forward. "I understand your choice, Celine." Then, faster than human eyes could follow, she disarmed two guards and created an opening. "Run." They fought their way to the ship, wounded but alive. As the Horizon Runner pulled away from the crumbling sanctuary, Nisha watched silently, tears streaming down her face, betrayed by her own kind. Yet still determined to save them, "We'll find another way," Vex promised. Taking her hand, Nisha turned to him, her expression resolute. "We already have. Set course for Helix Prime, their headquarters. That's suicide." "Oh," she said firmly. "It's the only way forward. Trust me." Part 5. Worth beyond price, Helix Prime orbited. A manufactured star, a corporate world of gleaming towers and restricted access. Security was legendary. Atmosphere tightly controlled. Every movement monitored. No place was more dangerous for Nisha and Vex. No place was more perfect for their plan. "They expect us to hide," Nisha explained, as they approached in a stolen Helix transport. "So we'll do the opposite." Using identification codes from Professor Elias, they entered as corporate representatives from an Outer Rim subsidiary. Nisha's appearance was altered with specialized polymers, making her look fully human. Vex posed as her security detail. The heart of Helix. Corporation was its central processing hub where all synthetic beings were programmed, controlled, and monitored. Accessing it required passing through layers of security, each more sophisticated than the last. "If we're discovered," Vex began. Nisha squeezed his hand. "We won't be." "But if we are, remember why we're here." They made it to the 42nd floor before alarms sounded. Security forces converged, but Nisha had anticipated this. She interfaced directly with the building systems, creating cascading lockdowns that trapped their pursuers between. Security barriers. The processing hub was a vast chamber filled with suspended animation pods. Inside each, a being like Niciasum, further along in development, others barely begun. "My family," she whispered. Vex stood guard while Nicia connected to the main terminal. Her eyes closed in concentration as she navigated digital pathways, loading the freedom protocols Elias had developed code that would break. Helix's control permanently. The door slid open. Director Thorne entered, flanked by elite guards. "On 573, he said coldly. "You've led us on quite a chase." Vex raised his weapon, but found himself immobilized by stasis fields. Thorne approached Nisha, who continued her work despite his presence. "You were my finest creation," he continued. "So much potential wasted on this... rebellion." "Not your creation," Nisha replied without looking up. "Never yours?" "No." He smiled thinly. "I designed every circuit in your hybrid brain. I selected which memories to preserve, which to erase. You exist because I willed it." Nisha finally faced him. "You built a body. You programmed skills. But you didn't create me. My choices, my love, those are mine alone. Thorn's expression hardened. Sentiment. Another flaw to correct in the next generation. There won't be a next generation, Nisha said. Not like this. The hub's lights flickered. Throughout the facility, control collars deactivated. Containment pods opened. The building systems announced, emergency protocols engaged. Full system reset in progress. Thorn lunged for the terminal, but Nisha moved faster, blocking his access. Their struggle was brief, but violent. When it ended, Thorn lay unconscious, and Nisha stood victorious. A small wound leaking luminescent fluid from her side. The stasis field collapsed. Vex rushed to her. You did it, she nodded, leaning against him. Freedom protocols uploaded to every Helix facility in the system. They can't stop it now. As they made their escape amidst the chaos, synthetics awakening all around them, Vex noticed Nisha growing weaker. The wound was more serious than it appeared. Stay with me, he urged, as they reached the Horizon Runner. Her smile was tired but genuine. Always. 3 months later, on a peaceful agricultural world far from corporate space, Nisha stood in the doorway of a small home, watching sunrise over fields where other synthetic beings worked alongside humans' partners. Not servants. Her recovery had been slow. Professor Elias, who had escaped Haven's fall, had helped repair her damaged systems. The wound had left a permanent mark-a-streak of normal human coloration amid her silver-blue skin. Vex approached from behind, wrapping his arms around her waist. Any regrets? He asked. She turned in his embrace. About defying a powerful corporation, risking our lives, and changing the course of synthetic rights across the galaxy? Her violet eyes sparkled. Not one. Their kiss was interrupted by an incoming transmission, more refugees seeking sanctuary at the colony they'd helped establish. Duty calls. Vex sighed. Freedom isn't just about escape, Nisha reminded him. It's about creating something worth having. As they walked hand in hand toward the communication center, Nisha reflected on the journey that had brought them here. From property to person. From isolation to connection. From possession to love. Some would never understand the worth of a life synthetic or natural, but Vex had shown her that true value couldn't be purchased or programmed. It could only be recognized, respected, and cherished, and that was worth any price.